Kick back and relax with Mark and Carol as they describe Beverly Hills 90210. So as you can see, this is a brand new thing, but also sort of an old thing. Carol and I have decided to spin off the 90210 series and do its own series itself, which will come out every Monday, as you can see. We don't have openings for this because these were originally part of the original episodes that we did of Massive Late Fee. So this is a brand new opening, welcoming you to the show. Enjoy this episode of 90210. Speaking of a fun Saturday night, let's tell the people about 90210.
Oh, sorry.
Oh yeah, you're into this, I can tell.
Oh, I'm so tired today, guys. Sorry. Okay, so 90210 this week, kind of terrible episode, really. I'm starting to not love it as much. I mean, like, I was enjoying watching, the new stuff on TV, but watching the old episodes kind of sucks.
Yeah, the first season's not great.
So in this one, Brenda's trying to learn to drive.
Yeah.
Apparently, she failed driver's ed 2 or 3 times before they moved.
Yeah, but the first time was only 20 minutes, so it didn't count. That's sort of like the first time we had...
Hey!
Whoa. It was only 20 minutes, so I don't count that.
Well, you wish.
Hour or longer. What? If you have some grievances, you can air them right now.
Oh, I have no grievances, love.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm all distracted now. Okay, so Brenda's trying to learn to drive.
Yeah.
And she actually gets in an accident when she's with the driver's ed instructor, which is kind of funny because, like, it kind of reminded me of when I was learning to drive. And I almost got in an accident. But, my driver actually hit the brake and stopped that.
Yeah, this guy was a moron.
Yeah.
Because, first of all, he caused the accident by they're driving, and he's like, oh, that's Henry Winkler. First of all, who cares? How long ago was Happy Days? Does anyone care what Henry Winkler is up to now? Yeah, I saw Night Shift on TV the other night. Great. That was 1983. Like, right. He hasn't been in anything that's mattered for at least 10 years. So, yeah, first of all, who cares if it's Henry Winkler? You're in Beverly Hills. So he's like, oh, I think that's Henry Winkler. And he's like, you've got the right of way, go. So she starts going, and she's like, oh, that's not Henry Winkler. And then she's staring at the guy because, he said something. And she's like, oh, that is Henry Winkler. And then, he says, oh, watch out. And then they, they're going right in front of a car. And then they cut to black because they don't have the budget to show an actual car accident.
Right.
But yeah, so she gets in an accident, all his fault.
Yeah, it was definitely his fault. And, I mean, I don't know, did you get the impression that he had the ability to stop the car?
I mean, I don't know. He's supposed to.
I thought all drivers ed vehicles had that, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Brakes
yeah.
on his side, yeah.
Idiot. Okay. So we know she is not a good driver. We've established that. And then Brandon goes to work, and Kelly calls her. Now, Kelly has invited her to go to Janet Jackson concert?
Yeah, the Janet Jackson concert.
With her and some 2 guys, so double date in a limo.
Yeah.
And she turns this down.
To study.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, yes, her mom told her that, I guess, Monday through Thursday she has to be studying because I guess she's not doing great in school, but...
Yeah, she can't go out or whatever.
Who wouldn't make an exception for that?
I thought she was supposed to get straight A's, by the way. She got straight A's in Minnesota.
Yeah, but she's not now. That's the problem. And it's because she's spending too much time hanging out with Kelly.
Yeah.
So, Kelly calls her and says she wants her to come and pick her up because she's having a bad time.
Yeah, the guy's a jerk. He threw up in the limo. I don't know. Other things.
Yeah, so...
He's starting to make Steve look good.
So, for some stupid reason, Brenda agrees to steal Brandon's car and go pick her up. What a moron.
Yeah, how did he get to work?
He rode his bike.
Oh, yeah, that's right. He took I think she said motorcycle, right? Or did he just ride a bike?
I think it was a bicycle. I mean, I don't remember ever seeing him on a motorcycle, do you?
No.
And that doesn't really fit his character, does it?
No. Dylan's character maybe.
Yeah.
But.
So, okay. So she takes the car. She's driving down the road, giving herself a pep talk the whole way about what a great driver she is.
Yeah. And she's doing fine.
And then the car runs out of gas.
Right.
So she walks to the gas station and basically bats her pretty little eyes at the guy and gets him to agree to give her gas and take her back to the car.
Yep.
And she'll pay him tomorrow because she didn't have her wallet.
Yeah, she also left the house without her wallet.
Well, it's not like she had a driver's license in it anyway.
Yeah, true.
So, yeah.
She also told Kelly that the reason that she can't drive yet is because she doesn't have a California driver's license. As if your driver's license is invalid as soon as you leave the state. Anyone that goes on vacation needs to get driver's licenses in every state they're in.
Yeah. I wonder if Kelly has a driver's license. I don't think I have. Yeah, she drives. We've seen her drive.
She's drive.
So she should know. Anyways, when they get there, the car's gone. Car has been stolen.
Mm-hmm.
And how is she going to explain that, right?
She also, like a moron, left the keys in the car.
That was the end of the episode.
But still, I thought it right away. I was like, oh, she left without those keys.
Did you? I didn't notice.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah, so yeah, she's a big giant idiot. And then with Brandon, what's going on with him? He's trying out for the basketball team.
Yeah.
Andrea wanted him to cover the tryouts, but instead he's actually trying out.
His dad is, had a big moment in high school. It's that cliche thing where, oh, my glory days in high school, where I hit the big shot to win the game. By the way, if your biggest moment is in high school, you are a loser.
Aw, don't be mean.
Well, you are. I'm sorry. Your best moments in life shouldn't be in high school.
My best moment so far, I've been in high school.
But we're only in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyone that's actually still in high school, that's fine. If the best moments of your life don't have to have been kindergarten.
You know what? I am pretty sure that his dad's best moments in life were not in high school. I bet they were when he got married and when he had his kids and all that good stuff.
I'll never know.
Oh, shush. So Brandon's trying out, and there are 5 guys who are on the team who are black. And he...
In Lily White, West Beverly High.
And he hears from Steve, of course, about some program in the school that allows people to attend the school that don't live in the district. And apparently no black people live in the district because he just assumes that applies to them. I don't know.
I'm guessing no black people live in the district. It's West Beverly, so probably not. But anyway, yeah, so it's some sort of... It's like for underprivileged people or something like that. They get scholarship or whatever. And Steve says to Brandon that it's like they break the rules. That West Beverly High brings these kids in here just because they're good at sports, and that's why. That's the only reason, not to actually help anyone out.
Yeah.
And they never attend class or anything like that.
Well, and I'm sorry, but in Brandon's defense with what happens next here, he has never seen the kid in class.
Correct.
So, of
never
course,
seen any of the kids in class.
Right. So, of course, right after Steve has said this to him, he finally sees one of these kids in his class who gets an extension on the assignment because he's been, playing catch up, I guess.
Yeah, James.
And he leaves again. Like, he doesn't even stay in the class then.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you know what it's like being new or whatever. Yeah, you never show up to class? Okay.
Yeah, it's really weird. It is weird. So he thinks there's a story there, and, he is on the paper, so he's trying to get Andrea to cover the story.
He doesn't want to cover it because, rightly, it's a conflict of interest.
Mm-hmm. And so in her digging around, she finds out that, what was the kid's name again?
James.
That James has not done the placement tests, has no transcripts from the other schools, hasn't, done anything to. He has basically no record.
He's the only. She says he's the only kid in school with no grade point average.
Right.
I don't know how that's possible, especially with what we learn later. I still don't know how that's possible.
Well, here's the thing though. She was checking in the office of that program.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So the office of that program didn't have any records on him because he wasn't in the damn program.
Yeah, he's not in that program at all.
Brandon runs into him in the library and walks up to him, and I'm sorry, how rude is this? Walks up to him and goes, "What are you doing here?"
Well, also before then, he confronts him.
Oh yeah,
just like on the grounds of the school, and basically he's. It's like what's his name, Frost going after Richard Nixon on TV. In the 70s when that happened, he's just grilling him. Hey, how come you don't have any records and blah 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 and all this stuff.
And he's like, "Why are you poking around in my records?
Yeah.
What right do you have to do that?"
And he's basically he says that he's claiming that he's cheating, and the guy James says that's only because I'm black, and Brandon says I don't care what race you are, it's not fair if this is what you're doing.
Right.
And then he just walks away from him.
Which, if that's what he's doing, it wouldn't be fair. But he's making all sorts of assumptions. So it turns out, he finds out when he confronts him now in the library, that his dad works for the library at West Beverly, and that he's worked there for 15 years, and that entitles him to go to the school.
Yep.
And that his parents decided a month into the semester that they wanted him to go to that school. Mm-hmm. And he's not even happy about it. He didn't want to be there. He liked his old school. And now he's playing catch-up.
Yeah, and it's implied that his dad's basically like a janitor for the library or something like that, some sort of maintenance or something like
How
that
is
in the
that
library.
implied? I don't remember.
I think he says something about maintenance, so he does like maintenance work or something for the library.
Okay.
Where he's and that is true. If you work, I think that's true nationwide. Don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure that's true nationwide. That because I think it happened in the Breakfast Club too. Honestly, if you work for the school, then your children are eligible to go to that school if you want them to.
Okay.
And obviously, West Beverly's in a better district with a lot more money, better education and everything. So I can understand why his parents are interested in that. Though if he's worked there 15 years, I don't know why he just didn't start high school there.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. But I guess they weren't happy with whatever was happening at the school he was going to.
Where did he say he was? Inglewood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, towards the end of the episode, him and Brandon end up, becoming friends because they're both, trying out for this basketball team, and they both show up early to practice, and so they play together and they kind of talk it out, And,
what's unfortunate though is I believe it's French. James is wearing some sort of shirt that it looks like a French logo. It's probably some sort of designerish brand, right? On the back, there's a bunch of French words and phrases on there, too. And the cameraman, the way he frames the shot, where Brandon's standing in front of James and we see James from the back, the first line, the first letter, and they're talking about race while this is happening.
Uh-huh.
Because basically he's saying, look, it doesn't matter. You're not some crack-addicted dude from Inglewood, and I'm not some cowboy. We're just two guys going to the same school battling for a spot on the basketball team. But the top line of his shirt is a word that starts with Nigge.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I forgot about that.
And I was like, well, that's an unfortunate coincidence. Why did they put him in that shirt?
Right?
So, yeah, that was weird. But we also forgot to mention there's a heavy implication that Steve Sanders is incredibly racist.
Yeah.
By the way, because he talks about how he sees Brandon after he tells him all about the these black kids and stuff that they're getting free rides and they're getting special treatment and blah blah blah. He tells him that he almost called him last night because he had front row tickets to the Lakers game, and Brandon's like, "Oh, I really would have liked to have gone to that." And the Lakers were playing the Celtics. And he's like, how was Magic? He's like, oh, Magic was Magic, good. From here, by the way. Michigan born and Michigan State alumnus or alumni, Magic Johnson. Just want to point that out. Anyway, so he says, "Oh, he was fine, but Bird was unstoppable and McHale was great on the boards." The two white players for the Boston Celtics, he points out, and he's like, "Well, I thought you were what are you from Boston? I thought why are you a Celtics fan?" And he says, "Yeah, I'm from Beverly Hills, born and raised, but us Irish guys got to stick together." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Oh, you know what I mean." And he says something like that, and he high fives him or something like that, and then walks away. I think the implication is he's talking about white people, that he likes the Celtics because they have two prominent white players on their team. Probably the two most well-known white players in the NBA right now.
Yeah, not good. Steve is just not good.
Or then, anyway. Yeah, really weird. But I think the Irish is supposed to be like code for white.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't think he's actually Irish. Steve Sanders, I don't think is Irish. Sanders is not a well-known Irish name. There might be Irish people whose last name is Sanders, but it's not like his last name's O'Rourke,
right,
or something like that.
O'Leary.
Yeah.
Okay, so the end of the episode, I think we're there now.
Yeah, we're pretty close.
Is Brandon's car gets brought back. They've found it with the keys inside.
Yep.
Now, Brenda never said that she took his car. She let them think that it was stolen from the driveway.
Correct.
And they're talking about, how did, they get in the driveway and take the car and you didn't notice and blah, blah, blah. And then somebody holds up the keys and goes, and why did they leave the keys in?
Yeah, isn't that your key
Isn't
ring,
that
Brenda?
Brenda's key ring? Yeah.
Yeah, and then it just ends. There will be no ramifications for that at all.
I really think she would be severely punished for that.
Yeah, but the next episode they're not going to mention that. Just like we're never going to see these black guys ever again.
Yeah.
They were like, "Hey, we need some black people in the show for like a little bit, but we don't want them in too long." So they put them in one episode. That's their attitude about race relations, in my opinion, on this show.
So I'm going to give it another episode or so, but I might switch to something else because I'm getting a little done with it.